So we're 100 days in. We're 100 days in of making diversity, equity, and inclusion essentially illegal, eliminating it in its entirety from every part of the executive branch, from law firms, from colleges and universities, because racism doesn't exist anymore in the United States. According to Donald Trump and his supporters, the only racism that exists in the United States is racism against white people. And this comes, after a couple of years ago, they all completely lost their mud over CRT, critical race theory, even though none of them have any idea what CRT is, what it teaches, or where it's actually taught, at what levels. But they lost their mud over that, and that was shortly after they all came completely fucking unglued over a black mermaid. There was a black guy in a Star Wars movie, and now we're being oppressed with a non-white Snow White. Apparently, I don't even know what the fuck that's all about. But so racism no longer exists in the United States. And this same week, a white chick in Minnesota used the N-word multiple times on camera directed at a 5-year-old black autistic child. And she got doxxed for that. Or actually, I think she doxxed herself because people found out who she was. And so she took advantage of that situation and started one of those fundraising pages. I think it's on Give, Send, Go. And in a matter of 3 or 4 days, has raised over $500,000. The white supremacists are treating her like she's their new queen. Wait for it. Even though she's married to a black guy. I'll bet none of them knew that before they donated money to her page, her fundraiser. But you're seeing people donating, the list of donation comments, people with usernames that include 1488. One guy donated under the name Dylan Roof, who was the young man who shot and killed 9 black worshipers in an AME church in South Carolina, I think in 2015. When police arrested him, they took him to Burger King. Literally, when they arrested him in an incredibly non-violent manner, despite the fact that he had murdered 9 people with a handgun, they arrested him without a shot being fired, picked him up without a scratch on him, and on the way to the police station, they took him to Burger King because he was hungry. And for those who don't know what 1488 means, it's a very common numerical symbol that you see among white supremacists. 14 stands for the 14 words, which was originally drafted by a guy in the late 70s or the early 80s who ran a white supremacist organization in the United States called The Order. And it's something, I've never memorized it, but it's something along the lines of, we must secure a future for white America and for our white children, something along those lines. That gives you the gist of it. And the 8 stands for the 8th letter of the alphabet, which is H. HH is, the little mustache guy and the salute that Elon Musk never did. And so it's like, that woman said what she said, then was recorded and said it again on camera, knowing she was on camera, outed herself, set up a fundraising page, and has raised over $500,000 from white supremacists in this country. I've seen TikToks from white people saying that she is standing up for white people by calling a 5-year-old autistic little boy who is black the N-word. That, on the right, is what counts as standing up for white America. calling a 5-year-old little kid the N-word. But we're post-racial in the United States. We're post-racial. There's no racism left in the United States. And so anytime that I hear anybody saying we need to listen to MAGA, we need to listen to them respectfully, we need to provide them with safe harbor so they can come over to our side, we need to unite with these people, we need to unite with them so we can save our country. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm going to tell them what I said in this video. And yeah, I will never unite with these rancid, bottom-feeding, fart-huffing, mouth-breathing MAGA chuds. That is never, ever, 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 ever going to happen. Ever. Ever. I will treat them the way they deserve to be treated for the rest of their lives, and I wish we could tattoo a giant red fucking M in their foreheads. Because in 5 years, when this is all over, you know they're going to kind of retreat back into normalcy, quote unquote. Wow, can you believe people voted for that guy? Yeah, fuck that, man. We should be able to brand them.